Do y'all hear what I hear? Hold on a minute. Yes, that is it. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Grant's Curb Appeal Lawn Care, and you know exactly what that sound is. So sit back, enjoy this video. We'll get it started here in just a second. Well, it's that time of the year again. Back out of here on the moor. This is the first cut on this property for the season, with many more, hopefully, Lord willing, to come. I want this season, prayerfully, to be as smooth as possible. I am retaining, from what it looks like, all of my customers from last year, which is a good thing. And I'm hoping that maybe, I can add at least maybe one or two more residentials. My hope is to get at least one or two more commercials for that guaranteed, year-round service. And that's a goal I'm going to aim for. Hopefully I can get that accomplished maybe before, I want to say at least May. I know it's going to be kind of hard because we are pretty much saturated in my area with a lot of different people mowing lawns. You got your big companies and you got your solo operators. And you got, entrepreneurs like myself who just run a mowing business. And everybody has, their own pros and cons to how they operate their business and how they go about getting and retaining customers. And I just fall right there in the mix. I go out, I get on these properties, I do the best I can. And like I said, I'm keeping all of my customers up to so far. So that speaks volumes that I'm doing something right. So I'm going to hope that everyone else's 2026 season, if it hasn't kick-started yet, hopefully it kick-starts for you soon. Get out here, you can hustle, you can do what you got to do. And at the end of the, season, end of the workday, however you want to look at it, you just go home and you feel satisfied, you feel accomplished, and you just, not feeling like you're going out here doing a bunch of work and it's not really worth it at the end. That's just, I want you to take that away from this segment, is hopefully the work that you're doing, running your own business, and I'll just reference lawn care, hopefully the work that you're doing is worth the hustle that you're putting into going into this role. Rather if you're quitting a 9-to-5 and going straight into just running a lawn care business, or if you're going to do both 9-to-5 and lawn care, just make sure that the reason you're doing it is worth it. Know that it comes with a lot of hard work and it ain't going to be easy, especially when it's time to really dig down into what comes with it. That comes with dealing with the clients, dealing with maintenance, dealing with repairs, dealing with having to upgrade equipment, dealing with, getting to a property and a piece of equipment that may have worked one property ago doesn't want to work this time. There's a lot that comes with it, and I don't want to sound like I'm rambling. I just want to, open up and give you my thoughts here just for a moment for stepping into this season. And as I've said in a lot of my videos, if this is your first season, make sure you've done your homework, talk to different customers that you're about to deal with, talk with other companies if you see them at the gas station or see them online. Just get in contact with them and make sure you got as much knowledge as you can get going into this line of work, because it's easy as it looks. The physical work and the mental work that comes behind it, some days are going to make or break you. So just be mentally prepared for that. So I'm going to stop rambling, get off my soapbox. I want you to take something away from that, hopefully, and I'll chime back in here shortly to finish out the video. So what you see me pretty much taking care of on this property today is some poana grass and some henneweed, if I'm saying those both correctly. That pretty much got me started on this property on the 3rd day of March. And this is a bi-weekly customer, you know, for right now while the season is starting to change over and the lawns are starting to wake up. You're mostly battling weeds. But here in the next few weeks, it just depends on the weather. This might continue to be weekly right now because we do have rain coming up and those weeds are just going to grow right back. So I may just fall automatically into weekly services on this property from the jump. It just depends on Mother Nature and just depends on how fast these, you know, particles of grass and weed grow on the property. I was here and the customer came right as I was wrapping up the property and was like, he was glad to see me show up because they were about to give me a phone call by the end of the week to see when I was going to start services. And I told him, I said, hey, I passed by here earlier in another vehicle, and I was like, okay, I got to come back and take care of this because it looked rough. And I came back, I cut it, and we was in and out. And he was asking me, he said, he saw my tripod, and he was like, you know, what's that? I said, hey, I just, you know, take pictures and advertise. You know, I don't really do a whole lot of handing out cards and anything like that. I just show people pictures, or if they watch this video, they'll see my work. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, and his exact words were, I'll refer you to anyone because you do a damn good job. Those were his words. And hearing that from a customer, not only just him, but a lot of other customers just saying in other ways, you do a good job, I appreciate the way you take care of my lawn, it goes a long ways. And it just speaks volumes for remembering why you want to go out and service people's property. You know, to a lot of people, this is their bread and butter. This is all they do. They service properties, they mow them, they do all kind of other, you know, side jobs, putting down pine straw, anything you can think of. And for me, you know, my full-time job is being a firefighter. And cutting grass was a full-time job for me before I went back full-time into a career. But now I got to balance them both. So not only do I have to balance the time when I'm working shift duty, I got to make sure I'm scheduling around my property so they don't fall by the wayside either. So I'm saying all of this to say, be mindful if you're jumping out here and mowing grass and still working a full-time job, and or if you're just trying to go mow grass full-time. Scheduling and customers are two of your most important things to think about. That's where your bread and butter comes from, rather if this is a side job or rather if this is going to be your full-time, you know, self-running business job. Keeping both of those balanced and making sure, you know, you're not overwhelming or overbooking yourself and work's going to start falling by or the quality of work is going to start slacking off. You don't want to get a bad reputation mowing grass. That's a quick way to get your name slandered before you even get on another property. Somebody can easily put a review online of you or call the next person and say, man, they ain't doing worth a darn on my yard. You don't want to deal with them. And believe it or not, we're in a social media era. Everything is broadcast on social media. And take it from a lot of these celebrities who catching backlash just because of some of the things they're doing. You don't want your business to take backlash because you go out and start slacking off and not keeping up a good quality of work or good customer, you know, relationship, making sure, you know, just asking around and asking things of your customer, making sure you're doing a good job, because sometimes a lot of people, and I'm gonna wrap this up, a lot of people just won't tell you you're not doing such a good job. It'll just be in the form of, hey, we don't need your services anymore. A lot of people don't give you a chance to understand, you know, why am I not, you know, needed anymore? And, you know, being fired from a customer, it comes with the territory. That's just the bottom line. It comes with the territory. But when I first got into lawn care, when I lost a customer because they told me they didn't need me anymore, it really, really bothered me. It really was like, what did I do wrong? Or did I say something or whatever? And a lot of times I don't even talk to the majority of my customers because a lot of them, they're not home when I come. It's a text message. It's, you know, if they need something, they'll ask me via text or they'll call me. But other than that, you know, they just tell me through text message I'm doing a good job, or like I said, if they don't need you anymore, they'll just send you a text message saying why. you know, hey, I don't need you anymore. If they don't explain the reason why, you may never know, you know, whether you're doing something wrong or whatever. Sometimes you might not want to know, and sometimes you might want to be like, hey, you know, I'm just curious as to why you're letting me go, rather if it's for if you're going to take care of your own lawn or something I wasn't doing right. I just want to make sure I can do something to better improve my services, you know, as a learning curve for the future. And some people may tell you straight up, you wasn't doing a good job, or your prices was too much, you know, whatever the list may be. You know, you get what I'm saying. Hopefully take something away from this little, I guess, soapbox that I was on. So stay tuned. We're gonna wrap this video up shortly, and I appreciate it if you made it this far in the video. I am so glad that I reached back in my truck earlier when I first got here and grabbed this extra spool of trimming line, because I would have been doing the walk of shame all the way back to my truck just to get some more trimming line to keep trimming. So take this as a learning curve for me. If you're not, you know, used to this, put some extra trimmer line in your pocket. Don't have to make the walk of shame all the way from, let's just say, a backyard, and your truck is probably way around the corner and you got to go get more trim line. Put some in your pocket. Keep yourself from doing the walk of shame. Forgive me if this video just seems like it's all over the place, but just talking how things come to mind. One thing I want to speak on is being a little bit more efficient when it comes to operating in your business. Me, on last year, I noticed a lot of things that I came up a little bit short on being efficient with. One thing I'll throw off the top of my head is documenting and making sure that I receive the proper invoice at the proper time. That way I can confirm that I've been paid. That goes very importantly when it comes to documents with commercial accounts and even residential. So something that you think you may be just a little bit short coming in, that may need just a little bit of efficiency, rather if it's route, rather if it's equipment, etc. Try to improve. It'll help you out. You won't regret it. So always look for improvement. It doesn't hurt to change things up, to be a little bit more efficient when it comes to operating your business. So that's going to be it for this video. Again, if you made it this far, hopefully you've taken away something from some of the topics that I discussed in this video. Leave me some positive feedback down in the comment section. And one more question I have for everyone, especially if you're not a subscriber: what can I do to help this channel grow? What is it that I can specifically do to get over the hump of 700 subscribers? I would love to touch at least 1,000 subs by May. I know that's going to be a lot to accomplish, because right now I know the attention span for a lot of YouTube is just not there. It's just the bottom line. But I'm asking, you know, rather if you're somebody who always engage on my videos or someone who's actually new to the channel, what is it I can do or say or display on this channel to help you say I'm going to subscribe, or help you say I'm going to recommend this channel to somebody else? You know, I'm reaching out right now, pretty much asking, what is it that can help Grant's Curb Appeal Lawn Care channel get over this hump? I want to be at least 1,000 subs by hopefully May, no later than June. I'm just asking that you work with me, give me some positive feedback. You know, I want to take some advice as to how to get this channel to grow, because I've watched a lot of channels and I know I'm not consistent on videos, and that's not really a full excuse, but I'm solo. Some days I just don't feel like taking out a camera. I just want to get in and get out, do the work and do what I got to do. But right now, you know, I'm just really wanting to get my subscribers up, more engagement, and hopefully turn this channel into something that everybody says, I can't wait for the next video. But leave me some comments in the section, please, and let me know what you can do to help me out, or what I can do more so to actually get more subs, more engagement on this channel. This has been Simon from Grant's Curb Appeal Lawn Care. Thanks for tuning in and making it this far in the video. I will catch you on the next one.